So I don't know if it's just me, but I always have to have a matching set for my underwear, and I feel the same way about my kid for some reason, which is kind of crazy. But so I have developed this new kids underwear pattern, which I really, really love, and I've made a million pairs of. And to match, I've made this really simple camisole pattern. So the camisole can be finished with two different neckline finishes. So you can do a simple fold over elastic finish, or you can add just a little bit of lace. And the lace finish is my favorite. Um, Super simple, just get stitched right along this upper neckline. And as you're stitching it on, you slightly pull on the elastic. If you're using a really scalloped elastic, just make sure that you've got it placed evenly on your garment. So you've got like a deep scallop kind of right in the center, and then it's evenly balanced on either side. This lace is not really that difficult. It's just a simple straight edge. So I'm going to use a zigzag stitch, and I'm going to just zigzag it directly onto the neckline. I always like to add an extra row of zigzag stitching, just about 1/4 of an inch above my initial stitching line. No reason other than I don't like to have any of my stitches pop. So from here we can just trim back this excess fabric, cutting as close to your stitching line as you can. So this camisole just has two very simple straight side seams. So I'm going to place my back with the right sides together over top of my front. And with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, I'm going to stitch down both my side seams. I'm going to use my serger, but you can use your sewing machine if you prefer. So now that I've finished the neckline of my little tank top, I'm ready to finish the upper edge and straps. So I'm starting with a piece of fold over elastic, and I'm sewing the size 2T, so I've measured out my strap here, and I'm going to leave a long tail hanging over the upper front neckline of my camisole. So I'm going to use a zigzag stitch again and just back tack to anchor it in. And then ever so slightly pull on your elastic to kind of curve it around the edge. So again, this is another one of those instances where we're applying elastic to stabilize an edge. We're not pulling on the elastic so much as to cause the fabric to pucker or to gather or that kind of thing. When you get to the end, don't just cut off your fold over elastic. You want to measure out your strap length again, which I'm doing by just measuring out the other strap that I've already cut. So now I'm just going to clean up this edge by snipping as close to my stitching line as possible. That will make it so that I can fold my elastic over nice and neatly. Now that that's all tidied up, we can fold our elastic along the fold line. And still using a zigzag stitch, we're starting at this strap edge here. As we get to the part where it joins this lace edge of our camisole, I like to do a back tack here, just because that tends to be a point of strain. And just keep sewing until you get to the end of your elastic. So here's our little top with the straps sewn and the upper edges finished. I have a tag at my center back point, but if you haven't put a tag in, I would just mark your center back with a pin. And then we're going to put our straps placed evenly away from your center back point. So I'm just going to eyeball this. You can measure or fold it in half. I like to place my straps a little closer towards the center back, just because I find that it prevents them from sliding down. So now that I've pinned my straps in place, I'm going to run 2 lines of straight stitching, just one along the upper edge of this fold over elastic and then another along the bottom edge of the fold over elastic to anchor my straps in place. Just make sure that you do a good back tack. I have bought so many store-bought tank tops that have had straps fall off or stitches come loose, and it is a huge pet peeve of mine. So I tend to go a little crazy with my strap attachment. So I'm just trimming back all of my threads. And you can trim back this excess fold over elastic. I like to keep a little bit extra just in case I need to lengthen the strap. So there, we're almost done. All that's left now is to do the hem. And to hem this top, because it is quite stretchy, I like to use a twin needle. If you happen to have a cover stitch machine, that would be a great way to finish it. But unfortunately, I do not have a cover stitch, so I'm going to use my twin needle. So just before I finish the hem with my twin needle, I've just really quickly serged just around the raw edge of my hemline. You don't have to do that when you're using a twin needle. I just like the look it gives on the inside. I feel like it's a little bit more finished. And I'm going to turn this under by about 3/8 to 1/2 an inch. And just twin stitch all the way around the circumference. So I kind of use my finger to feel, to make sure that my hem is going to get caught, or that the edge of my hem is going to get caught under my needle. So that's it. That's our completed little undershirt tank top thing. It's super cute. I love finishing it with just the little bit of lace. I just think it adds a nice little finish to it, but you can also finish it just as nicely with just a plain fold over elastic neckline. And you can always make some little undies to match. Thanks for watching.